Hello and welcome to Funky Fox Gaming. I'm back on This Is the Police, and I made the choice in the last episode to stick with Sand rather than what was his name? Vargo, is it? I think. Better the devil you know, as they say. Well, some people are getting fired. Well, not him because he's just tired, but he's getting fired. Freiburg's first mafia war in decades has spread chaos across the streets. Major criminal gangs vie for power, and the outcome of the struggle is impossible to predict. One thing is certain, a couple of weeks from now, only one family will rule the city. Judas Drake. I'm just going to avoid him just for the name entirely. Christ. Let's go for Donna Fitzsimmons. Varga stirred up some punks, and they went and attacked one of the family right in the barber shop. We've already sent our own men, but we don't know how many scumbags we're up against. Can you come join the party, but don't get in our way? I'll send these two. Mr. Sand's nephew looked out of his window and saw some of Varga's men smashing up one of his cars. Looks like someone needs to remind them that this kind of behaviour is illegal. Okay, so I've got a hit and run. Matt Paul, this dark coloured car comes tearing around the corner, hopped the curb and kept going. Knocked the man over, didn't even slow down. Alvarez, not long before the crash, I kicked a couple of drunks out of the bar. They were having a fight with some of my regulars. The victim's daughter. A few days ago, Dad had a fight at work with a couple of young people who were causing a ruckus at the library. The whole thing almost came to blows. They threatened him before they left. Hopkins, I saw two people in the car. They went right by me. The man in the passenger seat had a beard. And Mr. Boone, Klimek thought he was being followed. Oh, he's a colleague. He said he saw the guy everywhere. Said it looked like someone had some problem with him at the library. A girl entered Eddie's Burgers, ordered a Diet Coke and started shooting at the other customers with a handgun. The cashier called the police, and in the background there were gunshots and screams. Meanwhile, the crazed young woman is shouting, "I hate fat people." Jesus. Yeah, let's send squat. Squat? A SWAT even. The narrow street is blocked by 2 vans near the armoured truck. 3 armed, masked men have surrounded the truck and one of them is carrying a blowtorch. On the roof of the one van is a 4th criminal who shouts something to accomplices as he sees the officers approach. The blowtorch won't work, you'll need to use dynamite, shoot the robber who standing on the roof of the van. You surround and surrender peacefully. Let's go for that one. Ooh. The criminals take out their automatic weapons and open fire. Ooh, nice. A night watchman during his rounds followed some noises to discover several homeless people fighting over a bundle that was lying on the ground. So I've only got 3 frames. And I need 4. Well, that's a fake one because he wasn't crossing, he hopped the curb. So I know to ignore that one. That's got to be down this end somewhere. Like that, I guess. Jack Varga is strong, but he can't compete on equal terms with the oldest criminal gang in Freeburg. Just make sure that Sand stays ahead on point, and we'll have nothing to worry about. Our people were scouting ahead of Mr. Sand's movements, and we spotted a punk carrying a gun. There's sure to be a few more bastards lurking nearby. Let's get together and turn the tables on his slimeball crew. The wife of the mayor's press secretary loves choral singing. Today's her birthday, so please send some men with good voices. What? It's a ridiculous one, but it's not breaking the law or anything.
I was trying to raise 10-1, Sergeant Softball.
This is going to leave me with nobody.
511 in progress.
Oh, Jesus. Should easily have enough time for someone to come back.
We've got a situation here.
The police detachment arrived on the scene and found 3 corpses and 6 criminals armed with automatic weapons surrounding a cargo container. The criminals spotted the police and 2 of them already rushed to escape. So I've got to fire a couple of warning shots in the air. Everybody freeze, put your hands on your heads, shoot at the criminals. The remaining criminals are hiding inside a shipping container. You're surrounded, come out with your hands up, begin the assault, improvise a way to smoke them out.
511.
Ooh. Go on, Yancy. Mr. Boyd, I feel bad about coming to you again, but you're really the only one who can help me with this. These records that my ex sued me for, well, I got them back, of course, and I guess this could be nothing, but her big-nosed brother had his sights on them. Idiot even hired a private detective who's been at my store 3 days straight, and now he has the audacity to come to my house and accuse me of being involved in the record's disappearance. I don't know if he has any evidence, but the risk is just too high. Can you scare them both? Make sure that they stop poking their noses into other people's businesses. My store is open for you anytime. I'm going to close that for the time being and wait for him to come back. You, send you, that. Should have refused those 2. Oh shit. Thanks, Bieber.
1210 complete.
Oh, mind you, he's on the street there. Aha! I'm gonna have to wait.
Four 11 in progress.
First jump, Fitzsimmons. Considering certain recent events, we are obliged to grant some concessions to the feminists. You have to make sure that at least half of the staff at the police station are women. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I've got 9. Oh, and then I've only got, yeah. Can I fire people here?
Officer on scene. Looks like we have a
Oh,
situation
jeez.
here.
2 tearful boys, clearly in a state of shock, are standing dangerously close to the edge of the bridge. Beside them, their drunk and distraught father is slowly pushing the children closer to the precipice. Tell me about your wife, tell me about your husband, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. Oh. Let's go for that. A strong gust of wind almost blows one of the children off the bridge, but recovered at the last moment and stumbled onto the ground with a scuffed knee. Look, quit fooling around, these children have already suffered enough. Rush to the other children, stay back and try not to agitate the man. The man slurs his ways, saying that there's no point delaying the inevitable. Think about what you're doing, there's people who care about you. Your children have their whole lives in front of them, you can't make this decision for them.
Four 11 complete.
Oh, thank God for that.
210 in progress.
Shit. member of the family was out at a restaurant having dinner with his secret lover, but because the affair was secret, he was light on protection, and one of Varga's agents was able to slip a grenade into the room. Jeez. This is a job best handled by the police, unofficially of course.
210, complete.
Excellent. Ooh. Sell it. Ah.
I was trying to raise 10-1, Sergeant Soft Spot.
A sweet girl named Anna is one of our key assets in a large accounting firm. She just got home from work and found her house was on fire, and the assholes that started it are still standing around admiring their handiwork. Wouldn't it be pretty if someone cracked open their skulls and tossed them into the flame?
Seven ten B, complete.
Pretty close run at the minute. Only two between them. Excellent. I need to hire a woman. Wait, Hulk Hogan? I mean, they're not exactly the cream in the crop, but... oh, actually, that's the point. I think I'm going to hire a... Sand's family's main attorney is under guard around the clock, and that goes double for his children. But before we could pick them up from school this morning, some of Varga's punks kidnapped them. We don't know how Varga found them. They live under false names. Anyway, you need to act quickly. They can't have gone far. That's in Koichi and Asana.
Eleven B in progress.
let's have a look at this investigation then. I've been going to Sunday service for 36 years and this is the first time I've ever seen such a disgrace. Some crazy young man on a motorcycle drove straight through the doors of God's temple and began running around, shouting blasphemy. He even dared to raise his hand to the Holy Father Nunez. What is it with the youth of today? It all happened so quickly. The guy drove straight through between the pews, almost crushing a parishioner. Then he looked into the confessional and threw in a bottle. And he ran up to me and shouted, "The devil sits on the roof of the church." Then he shoved me. I fell to the floor and the crazy man shouted, "My hand is hard as stone. I'll knock you out of the saddle, Satan." And then he threw his helmet at the cross above the altar and sped away. I was in the confessional when it happened. I was waiting for Father Nunez to finish his sermon so he could hear me. I have sinned so much this week. As I was sitting in the confessional I heard noises of an engine, like a motorcycle. Then there was a roar and a man shouted, "Come, Lucifer, do not hide from me." A few seconds later, a young man in a black leather jacket opened the door of the confessional and yelled, "I will seek out the devil wherever he may hide," and he threw a bottle at me. The shard stuck in my face. So at the crime scene we found a black helmet with a white spot on top. On the pavement in the church we found traces from 3 motorcycle tyres. So that one's crap. I don't have anything for the theft yet.
1111B completion.
Ooh, more cocaine. Cornelius Blunt. Mr. Boyd, I'm a wealthy man and am concerned about the fate of our fair city. I would like to fund 3 additional officer positions at your police department, but I must make one condition. My adopted son is to take one of the new jobs. Of course, you mustn't fire him under any circumstances. Do we have a deal? I can already see that he's going to be some really shitty arsehole who gets drunk constantly. Yeah, okay. Oh Christ, is that him? Oh God. Oh, I need women. And not Hulk Hogan. I'm gonna hold off on actually hiring them for now. Some goons grabbed the half-sister of one of our family members right off the street. Her driver called us from a nearby payphone, but he's a wimp and couldn't actually do anything. From the description we got, it sounds like Varga's men. If you get there first, hold on to them for us. Don't hurt them too much. Just make sure you don't let them escape. We have something special planned for them. I'm gonna send Koichi and Percy. I just realised I don't have any officers on this side apart from Koichi, and I've got loads on the other side. Need to change that up.
on scene. Looks like we have a situation here.
The kitchen floor is decorated with broken plates and an overturned pan filled with muddy slush. An elderly prisoner is sitting on a stool, dipping his hand into the pot of slush and shoving it towards the cook's face, yelling, "You try to eat this shit." Hey, we've got a couple of nice warm burgers here. You're lucky you got fed at all. Let's cook up something else. It only takes a minute.
412 feet.
Okay, for theft, let's see what we've got. Mr. Campos. I walk to the museum every hour. The alarm is off. The city hall won't allocate the money to fix it. I didn't hear the glass breaking. It's a big museum. When I went down this way again, it was already morning. The window was broken and the canvas was cut from the frame. There was no trace of anyone around, just the brick laying on the floor. The parking lot was empty all night. In the morning, a cyclist went past with a tube on his shoulder. The guy slowly rolled into the parking lot and then left the bike for a couple of minutes and went out of sight. Then he came back, got on and left. I suffer from insomnia and often go cycling around the city late at night. I took a tube and some other equipment so I wouldn't have to go back home before my morning classes at the art school. I stopped at the museum to pee. I admit it, I like to mark the corner of the building. I imagine one day my work will be hanging inside. So that is him. In his lectures on the works of the Dutch masters, Bram van der Hoef always sharply criticises the works of De Vroom. He dismissed the legendary artist as overpriced mediocrity and was very amused when an unknown De Vroom painting was discovered in the city dump. He said it was already in its proper place. He was less amused when he learned that De Vroom painting would be hung in the museum. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Bram who broke into the museum and stole the painting to burn it or cut it into tiny pieces. The glass is almost completely broken out. A grown man could easily climb through the window and not cut himself. Most of the shards are lying on the pavement outside the museum. So that means it was done from the outset to him. It was Mr. Campos. No, he used that excuse yesterday. Ooh, I like that. Right, I need to hire female cops. Have we got any new female cops? No.
We've got a situation here.
Reporters and onlookers have gathered around the building. The asylum patients are watching the growing crowd from the windows of the third floor.
Seven ten feet completion.
An old friend is visiting Mr. Sand. They're planning on going horseback riding, but the owner of the country club just called. He wasn't making much sense, but it sounds like some punks are beating Mr. Sand's horses to death. whole mob of Vargas people attacked the truck belonging to one of our companies. The truck is carrying some important cargo, the kind only Mr. Sand and his deputies know about. The driver tried to call us, but we lost the connection. He may already be dead. You've got to stop those assholes before they make off with the goods. Wow, automatic weapons. Okay, let's have another go at this then. So, must be that one. Ah, 3 wheels. Da-da-da-da. Wait, is that any different to that one? It's the same one. Hmm. Oh, so did the bottle there. I think I'm missing one still. I think what I'm missing is the shoving thing. Because that'll be there. Because I know that he rode in, drove between the pews, and then it says here that he threw a bottle, which she confirms. Then goes and shoves the priest, throws his helmet, and then rides off. So I'm missing the shove. Go on, Wolf. I think what I'm going to start to do is stick one person on it at a time, and then slowly add them, and hopefully that will get me more screens. Not having the day off heartburn. You're useless, you can stay at home. I can understand that one. I'm not a monster. Yeah, well, there wasn't enough women in the job market. Sorry.
611 in progress.
Which am I actually needing for? Probably gonna have him killed. I didn't say that. Let's hire for B.
Six 11 complete.
After the incident with the horses, we secretly transferred Mr. Sand's guest to a local hotel and set up a guard outside his door. Suddenly we're hearing screams coming from his room. And there's water flowing from the bathroom. We'll break down the door, but police presence wouldn't hurt. Whoosh! Oh, shit. Can't investigate it yet, I've got no people. Jack, my entire staff at the donut shop came down with the flu, and I haven't been able to find anyone else to help out. Could you please send me a couple of your men? I'm sure they wouldn't mind frying up some donuts. It's easy. I'll show them everything they need to know. My shop barely makes ends meet, so I can't afford one day of downtime. Let's send... let's wait. Now let's send these two. I'm telling you, Chief, standing over the fryer is hellish work. I'd rather dodge bullets than spray from the boiling oil, but at least Mrs. Marburn promises she'll keep us in donuts for the rest of the year. That's good. We need backup. Some punks tried to crash one of our poker games, and we aren't about to let them walk away with the money. So now we've got ourselves a standoff. A couple of officers on the scene would change the situation in our favour. A and C and crash.
Officer on scene. Looks like we have a situation.
The movie theatre isn't too crowded, and the film is in full swing. Oh, he's completely naked.
Complete.
Oh yeah, that's the difference. I've just noticed that's only got two wheels at the back. So they're both wrong. I'm still missing something though, apparently. Which that's more of a... It was a push, wasn't it? Shoved me. That's a kick. Still not getting the right ones. Aha!
Complete.
If I pick the wrong one again, I won't be happy. Right, you get onto that one. Damn it! They've rolled onto the wrong pile. They should be over there.
A in progress.
I think I've already got 3 Asian officers. Oh. Please be informed that your employees have filed a formal complaint against you. We are gathering information and familiarizing ourselves with the circumstances of the case. Oh. Asian. Yeah. I have 3. I'm good.
We've got a situation here.
The cathedral is full of visitors. Deploy all forces in an attempt to find the bomb. Announce the bomb threat and order everyone to evacuate immediately. Find the priest and begin the evacuation. Let's do that one. An improvised explosive device has been discovered under a pew near the altar. Cut all the wires, disconnect the battery. Ensure that the cathedral has been evacuated.
10-10A.
Chief, some guy in rags is trying to enter the police station. He says that he's a Tibetan monk and he wants to talk to our patrolman about the nature of violence. Should I let him in? No. As a safety precaution, we've decided to change all the staff that will work on the ranch. We just hired 8 new maids from a neighbouring city, but the bus they were taking got intercepted by some of Varga's punks. Let's teach them that even our maids can't be trifled with. Stovall and Adams. The might of the beards.
214 complete.
The hockey team that Mr. Sand owns is getting ready for an important match. The ice arena is closed during training hours, but the stadium director just reported that some people in strange clothes breaking into the arena and climbing into the stands. There we go.
410A complete.
Hey. Okay, folks, I think I'm going to stop that one there. Making some good progress with the Mafia War. It's going heavily in Sam's favour right now. And I haven't had any officer deaths, at least. I think I've had one civilian death, unfortunately. I do have maybe an idea in mind to get the son killed of the businessman. But we'll see how that goes. I might try and send him on training first. See how he does. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.